Hi, I'm making this video as a mark of appreciation to the BBC in light of my recent awakening. And, I've really heavily spoken out against the BBC, especially about their news reports, really, which I did find most offensive. But now I understand, you just like doing your job, and that's what's needed, is just, keep lying to the public and giving them fake news, and then calling real news stories fake news, because the truth is just too much for British people to handle. And you've done such a fantastic job of protecting people from the truth, because they just wouldn't understand, because most of the people have still got this idea that we're supposed to be lawful and have compassion and stuff like that. But as I say, I've had an awakening, and I realise we're not supposed to live with compassion at all. And actually, all those people we're thinking of as evil because they're like psychopaths and narcissists and things, but no, they're the superior people. And I've been thinking that like there's something wrong with them and they need help. But no, actually it was me that needed help. I needed help to understand that the facade that you present is what's needed, so that people can just like have something to cling to, and to believe in something, whatever you tell them. And all the protection that you've given and support to paedophiles as well, and even the pedo sadists of central London, how you pulled out all the stops and gave the lead suspect an empathic primetime news empathic interview, and helped them explaining to the public that children's allegations of like serious child abuse and child trafficking and murder of babies and things by multiple professionals working in central London authorities and businesses and things, you help the public understand that it was just a pack of lies, because a lot of the public, they just don't understand that that's okay, to have fun with children. And they think that trafficked babies have got some importance, like they think that we're supposed to care about them and care what happens to them and stuff, and that they should have a right to justice as well. When children report a crime that includes trafficked babies, of course it can be just it can be just ignored, and even with fully satisfied arrest criteria. And I just thought it was absolutely brilliant that now I've been looking and thinking, yeah, they really did the right thing, because they didn't ask any questions about why no arrests were made like the IPCC did. Instead they just accepted the judge's judgment, and because the judge is always right, and that's what you're supposed to do, is just guide the public so that we just follow your truths that you put forward. And so if a judge says somebody's innocent, then that means that they're entirely innocent. And if there's any like problems, then it doesn't matter, because if it includes rich people and crimes against children, then it's best just to ignore it. If there's any doubt, just ignore it and cover it up. And that's what you've done a brilliant job at, just covering things up. And I think really, you deserve a medal for especially your presentation and coverage of 9/11 and all the programmes you've made in support of the official story. Again, I did used to be disgusted, but now I do realise that, yeah, of course it's the New World Order, and we've all got to bow down to it. And they're allowed to ignore the laws of physics. you know, because whatever they say is true, and we just have to accept it, because, you know, it's just a waste of time talking about things like the laws of physics, or talking about human rights or child protection directives, because those things really, you know, they don't count because they're not important. And what is really important is that, you know, we support Israel's campaign against the Palestinian people, because, you know, like Israel says, if they find a terrorist, then, you know, they should kill the families as well. And, you know, Donald Trump says the same thing as well. And, you know, I can see the BBC sort of moving in the same way, you know, and what can I say, where would Britain be now without the BBC, you know, to sort of guide us and things. And, you know, like, for example, when we were going through Brexit, you just took, like, a non-biased approach and didn't support either way, you know, and you didn't mention about people losing the human rights or the workers' rights or, you know, children's rights and things like that, because, you know, if you'd have mentioned that, it might have got people thinking, and then they might not have voted Brexit, and then that wouldn't have been good, because then the New World Order wouldn't have been able to get into our country so easy. And so, you know, it was good that you didn't alert people to the dangers, but you just waited until after the vote was done, and then you immediately started alerting people to the dangers and making them feel bad for voting Brexit then, because they realised they made a mistake. But I do understand now that's part of your job, to, you know, to make people feel, to deceive people and then make them feel bad and guilty, and, you know, point a finger at people in society, and, you know, give honours to certain people, because, you know, we just need that. Otherwise, what would happen? Intelligence, you know, the common people's intelligence, universal intelligence, might start taking root, and then it would just completely destroy the New World Order, and we'd just go totally wrong. We'd go totally wrong. We'd no longer be worshipping gold and stuff, and we'd probably have like a hemp economy or something like that, and those things are just hippie nonsense, and that is what you've done, the BBC. You just keep all the hippie nonsense out of everything, you know, and you keep it sharp and clear about finance, because everything's just about money, and, you know, you need lots and lots of money, and all the people that work for you on your shows presenting your news, they need lots and lots of money, and, you know, the poor people that watch you, we don't really need much money, because we can live off, you know, like £100 a week or £200 a week, but, like, you know, maybe you can earn that in an hour or something, and that is fine, because you are superior people, and because you have this power and ability just to be able to say whatever you're asked to say by the government and the government bankers, and so that's what you do, and you just do it without question, because you've got obedience. And I think that's what you are, as a prime example to the British people, of just absolute obedience to the New World Order, and as that, you know, you are like just a shining star of guidance to people, to just bow down and to not ask any questions, and to just quietly give up their rights, and, you know, hand over their children to repaying an unrepayable debt forever. And, you know, and that is what is so wonderful. Britain is now going to be, you know, a New World Order cash machine, and really that is perfect, you know, because people were a bit stupid after the World War II, thinking that we could be an independent nation and we could have things like an NHS and stuff, and, you know, it is obvious the NHS just, it was just so wrong, and we just don't need an NHS, because it's mostly just supporting poor people, and what we need to be focusing on is, you know, getting private health insurance and stuff like that, and then probably most of the poor people will die, which, you know, it'll probably be good, because, you know, then they're not clogging London up and things like that, and begging on the streets, and you know, or they might be smoking cannabis or things if they do get any money. So it's probably best if they don't have any money, because it's only people at the BBC that are allowed to take drugs and not get arrested, because, you know, that's one of the perks of working for the establishment. And, you know, you can, like, commit crimes, and or you could be a paedophile or a pedo-sadist or a necrophiliac, and you'll get to work with children and things for the BBC. And you know, I mean, I do realise now that that is the freedom of it all, isn't it? That's what you support, just that absolute freedom that the gold gives to people, and that is the New World Order. And so, you know, what can I say except, you know, thank you for keeping us informed about what's not going on in the world, and what the New World Order wants us to think. It has really helped clear my mind, and you know, I'm just so aware that I do have to be really scared of ISIS. You know, that I do really need to be scared of, like, Muslim people, because, you know, they are a deadly threat to the whole of humanity. You know, I've noticed that about my Muslim neighbours. You know, like when they come and bring me some food and things like that, you know, now I just say no, because I'm thinking, you know, the Muslims, maybe they've poisoned the food because, you know, they hate Christians and stuff like that. I am learning to be paranoid, and it has helped, you know, because before I was getting paranoid about the New World Order, but now I'm not. I'm just paranoid about Muslims and immigrants and things, and poor people, and you know, I mean, most amazing of all is just your silence about us having our human rights removed and scrapped. You know, because those human rights were a dangerous thing, and they were threatening to, you know, make it very difficult for the corporations to just screw the British people. And as I say, now I've had my awakening, I realise that's what I'm here for, to be screwed. And who am I to complain? And you've made me understand that. You've shown me who are the important people and who are the inferior people. And so, you know, I just accept now I'm one of the inferior people, and I am a lot happier now I fully know my place. So, you know, thank you for keeping me informed.